Yeah, all I know is all Daniel would tell me is the reason why Jacob Peterson got thrown out of Avid is because Jacob Peterson was it's because Jacob Peterson was it's because Jacob Peterson was it's because Jacob Peterson was is because Jacob Peterson was really destructive. Like Jacob Peterson would tear up what was tearing up his group home. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I heard. Yeah. From various people. I'm not gonna say which people, but um all I just know is Jacob Peterson tore up it was tearing up his group home. And finally Avid just couldn't deal with him anymore. And they sent him to the state school. Yeah. They sent him to the state school. Yeah. Yeah. Cause yeah, cause yeah, cause he was really violent. Yeah. Like from what I heard, he was Jacob Peterson was from what I heard, Jacob Peterson was really violent. Yeah. Jacob Peterson was just a really destructive individual. From what I heard, what I heard, like, like, if I heard I always heard Jacob Peterson was really violent. Yeah. A lot of people at Avid were really scared of him. Yeah. A lot of people at Avid were there were a lot of people at Avid who were like are you expecting the package? Yes. What's the package? It's a charged computer charger. So, I'm coming. Qualcosa no, sì, no, ma non è proprio ragazzi, io. Allora no, no, sì, yeah, and well, but again, this is just from stuff I heard from this is just shit I heard from from just random people at Avid that witnessed Jacob Peterson's violence. This is just from various people who witnessed Jacob Peterson's violence. Yeah. Honestly, honestly, no Titans. Day night, 10 minutes. Like, well, just various people who, like I said, witnessed Jacob Peterson's violence. Yeah. Just like various people um who like witnessed Jacob Peterson's violence. Yeah. Like it was mainly just like random people who worked Jacob Peterson's group home in the past and um had witnessed Jacob Peterson being violent. Yeah, but like honestly, I don't know what ultimately caused Jacob Peterson to finally just, snap. I mean, maybe it was like, maybe it was what like caused me to finally snap when I was at Avid. Maybe it's like what maybe it's like, what finally caused me to snap when I was at Avid. Maybe it's like, maybe it's like what finally caused me to snap. Maybe it's like what finally caused me to snap. Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's like, you know, maybe it's like, yeah, perhaps it's like, maybe it's like what ultimately caused me to snap when I was at Avid. Fact that Avid wasn't playing it fair. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know why I ultimately snapped when I was at Avid. I ultimately know why I ultimately snapped when I was at Avid. I know why I ultimately snapped when I was at Avid. I ultimately know why I ultimately snapped. Why I finally snapped when I was at Avid. It was from it's from years of it was from years of it was just from years and years of it was from years and years of from years and years of you know being mistreated. It was from years and years of abuse and it was from year it was just year it was you know it was years and years of just being manipulated and it was years and years of being it was years and years of being manipulated. It was it was years of abuse, it was years of it was years and years of being of having to spend time around inexperience. It was years of abuse and ignorance. it was ultimately years and years. It was ultimately it was years and years of just being persistently manipulated and controlled by people. It was years and years of being mistreated by people. That's what finally caused me to snap. It's what finally caused me to snap when I was at Avid. It's the fact that like I wasn't being taken care of properly. I wasn't being adequately cared for. It's the fact that I wasn't being adequately cared for. The fact that I wasn't being adequately cared for. The fact I wasn't being the fact I wasn't being adequately cared for. The fact I wasn't being adequately cared for. Yeah, the fact that like I wasn't I wasn't being adequately cared for. The fact that I wasn't being adequately cared for. Yeah, just the simple fact that wasn't I wasn't being adequately cared for. This fact I wasn't being adequately cared for finally caused me to just explode. Yeah, I finally just exploded. Yeah, I finally just exploded. I finally just exploded. I finally just exploded. I finally just exploded. Yeah. I literally finally just exploded. I literally finally just, exploded. I literally just exploded. Exploded. You know, because I literally couldn't handle being around someone who was, just mainly due to the fact that, like, I couldn't handle, it's mainly due to the fact that I couldn't handle, mainly due to the fact that I couldn't deal with Avid's ignorance, that I just couldn't deal with Avid's ignorance, and that I just didn't want to deal with I didn't want to deal with Avid's ignorance. Yeah, I finally just didn't want to deal with Avid's ignorance anymore. I finally just didn't want to, yeah, it's mainly because I just didn't want to deal with Avid's ignorance anymore. I just didn't want to deal with Avid's ignorance anymore. And I also didn't want to, I mainly didn't want to deal with Avid's bullshit anymore. I mainly didn't want to put up with Avid anymore. I mainly just didn't want to deal with Avid anymore. Like I mainly didn't want to deal with Avid anymore. It's just I really couldn't deal with Avid anymore. Mainly because I just exactly I couldn't deal with Avid anymore. I didn't want to deal with Avid anymore. I just didn't want to deal with Avid anymore, mainly. I mainly didn't want to deal with Avid anymore. Yeah, yeah, it's mainly because I didn't want to deal with Avid anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Another settlement. Of our army united to fight. Island. Oh yeah, they're coming. No, it's my Prometheans over there. You know that. My Prometheans, yeah.